Welcome, and good morning to those of you joining us from North America, and good evening to those of you who happen to be joining us from Europe and Asia. What a year! What a weekend here in the US. Welcome to Inscopix DECODE 2020. I'm Kunal Ghosh, founder and CEO of Inscopix. Inscopix is a California-based neurotechnology company that is building a platform to decode how the brain works in health and in disease. Researchers across the world are using Inscopix's platform to pioneer breakthroughs in fundamental brain science. And together with our partners in biopharma, we're working hard to translate cutting-edge research into the development of precision neurotherapeutics and devices to treat brain disease and mental disorders. We're so grateful and honored that you have chosen to spend a part of your day with us today to discuss, debate the state of mental health, to talk about the grand challenges that we face today, to learn about the novel solutions that are inspiring hope for a better tomorrow, and to share your own personal stories. 2020 has been an especially tumultuous year, with the COVID public health crisis sweeping the world and its associated economic, societal impact causing untold misery. If that were not enough, in the US over the past several months, over the past several weeks, we have seemingly lurched from one societal crisis to another. While there's much discourse about the direct physiological impact of COVID, and certainly vigorous debate about the cost-benefit of economic lockdowns as a means to stem the spread, there is perhaps only an appreciation, an acknowledgement perhaps, that lockdowns and the related societal isolation must be taking a toll on our mental health. We're maybe not as proactively and publicly talking about the mental health challenges that the COVID crisis is exacerbating in society. We privately wonder sometimes whether there will be any developmental impact on our kids who have not been in school for months and who are not socially interacting with their peers. We know firsthand from our very own adult experiences and from our families' experiences that we get depressed when our mobility is constrained, when we cannot travel to visit family or have those traditional annual vacations. Finally, while there have been some studies on the potential effect of COVID on the brain, including why for some a leading symptom is loss of taste and smell perception, little is still known about COVID's physiological impact on the brain itself and its overall long-term health effects. It is with this overarching objective to tackle head-on the mental health challenges that COVID and other crises have accelerated, and to discuss and learn about solutions and opportunities that we at Inscopix thought of convening DECODE 2020, a summit to bring together all relevant stakeholders spanning neuroscience research, biopharma industry, government, foundations and not-for-profits, and mental health advocacy. The agenda that we have today follows the arc from the bench to the bedside, to our shared vision of a better world. At the end of our summit today, we hope that you'll be fully informed on the cutting-edge research at the bench to understand mental disorders as the disorders of the brain, rooted in biological mechanisms gone awry. We hope that you'll learn about all the latest in diagnostic and therapeutic research and innovation, and also the resources and tools that are available today at the bedside to help people living with mental illness. And we hope that you will leave hopeful that the innovations that are on the horizon will turn the tide in our efforts to address the mental health crisis and create a better world for our children and our grandchildren. And so, as a science-driven company at the intersection of neuroscience and neurotechnology, we're excited to share a program that seeks to connect the dots from basic brain science to translational research to the treatments and cures of tomorrow. I'm truly honored that I'll be joined today on this virtual stage by Dr. Tom Insel to co-moderate the summit with me and to help us navigate through our exciting program of the day. Dr. Insel is a world-renowned neuroscientist and psychiatrist who led the National Institute of Mental Health from 2002 to 2015. After leaving Bethesda for the Bay Area, Dr. Insel led Verily's clinical neuroscience division and then co-founded MindStrong and most recently Humanist, a startup seeking to provide an online community for those with behavioral health challenges. Dr. Insel in 2019 was named by Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, as California's mental health czar, to help reorganize the state's behavioral and mental health programs. Tom, it's a real pleasure and honor to have you on the virtual stage today. Let me start by asking you to give the audience an overview of what they can expect from the agenda today.
Well, thank you, Kunal, and it's certainly an honor to co-host today's summit with you. You'll remember, I think we did this together about 4 years ago at a very different time in both the state of our science and the state of our nation. As you noted already, with last week's election, this ongoing pandemic, and just a year of uncertainty and social unrest, we're now meeting at a time when translating science to practice has become really an urgent issue. Before we started this year, just about a year ago, I was happily predicting that 2020 would be the year of perfect vision. And I guess it has, in fact, been that. I mean, it's been a year of woe for sure. And I guess in some ways you could say that's improved our vision. It's just not in the way most of us expected. This year's revealed so much about our neglect of public health preparedness, our failure to ensure social equity, about how so many Americans distrust science and scientific experts. So it's been a wake-up call in that sense. And in this context, I think today's summit really feels profoundly important to me. Today, just as 4 years ago, we're going to hear about some breakthrough science again, but this time through the lens of how this science can create better care and a better world. We want to confront those issues of preparedness, of equity, and trust, and begin to really think through how we can have some impact on each of them. So we'll start by discussing both the biology and psychology, brain and mind, hearing from our speakers, almost all of whom are really world's experts on their topics, to begin to think about how we can apply the science of today to meet this moment. We'll hear about social connection, stress and trauma, new approaches to depression, cannabinoids, psychedelics, and the importance of inclusion if research is to translate to public health. If you can stay with us throughout the day, you'll have a chance to get the first peek at Ken Burns' documentary on youth mental health, including some comments by Ken himself. And then towards the end of the day, my successor as NIMH director, Josh Gordon, and Ariana Huffington from Thrive Global will have a fireside chat about the future of mental health. We'll finish with just an amazing musical visit with Jewel. You've got to stick around for that for sure. This is going to be an amazing day. And I just want to say at the beginning that Kunal, you and your colleagues at Inscopix have put together really the A-team for this year's summit.